Reaction. Napakaganda po ng pag-uusapan natin ngayong mga ka-reaction. Finally mga ka-reaction, nagkita na po si Bongbong Marcos at saka si Donald Trump. Nako, nagkita po sila pero mga ka-reaction, nakakalungkot sabihin, nagmukha pong gago si Marcos Jr. Nagmukha po siyang clown. Mantagin mo, di ba pinatawan po tayo ng 20% tariff? Maniwala po kayo sa hindi, napakalupit po ni Marcos Jr. Napakatapang niya. Oo po, natakot ang Amerika sa kanya. Ito, basahin natin ha. Antimano, nagpadala ng sulat sa akin si Donald Trump eh. Nagpadala po ng sulat sa akin si Donald Trump, mga ka-reaction. Ito po ha, pantignan po natin. Ito po mga ka-reaction ang sulat ni Donald Trump. Kapapadala lang sa akin, ayan o. Ayan o, ginagawa po niyang gago si Bongbong Marcos. President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines is just leaving the White House with all of his many representatives. It was beautiful visit and we concluded our trade deal whereby the Philippines is going to open market with the United States. Ang United States daw po mga ka-reaction, zero tariff. Open market with the United States and zero tariff. Tapos, paano po mga ka-reaction? The Philippines will pay 19%. Di ba mga ka-reaction, humihingi po ng 20% tariff. 20% tariff ang Amerika. Ngayon, nagpagod po si Donald Trump, si Bongbong Marcos, pumunta po siya ng White House, nagyayabang. Ito po, 19% tariff. In addition, we will work together militarily. It was great honor to be with the President. He is highly respected in his country. That's you know, is that true? He is highly respected in his country, as he should be. He is also a very good and top negotiator. Congratulations, Bongbong Marcos. Top negotiator ka daw. Ano ba sabi ni Donald Trump? We extend our warmest regards to the wonderful people of the Philippines. Tapos, ano nga daw? Tapos, negotiator, di ba, nabawasan mo ng 1% yung inihingi ni Donald Trump ng 20%. Habang ang Amerika ay zero tariff. Ang Amerika hindi magbabayad kahit 5 tariff. Ang Philippines magbabayad ng 19% tariff. Dahil pa po yan ng Bombay Pag umutang ka ng 5,000, ang bayad mo 6,000. 20% po yun. Bongbong Marcos, congratulations ha. Congratulations. Pero nasasaktan ako kasi ikaw yung presidente ko kasi nagmukha kang tanga. Ito po, tingnan po ninyo mga ka-reaction ng kanyang interview. Halos hindi po nagsalita si Bongbong Marcos at kinuwento po ni Donald Trump si Obama. Panoorin po ninyo, wag kayong maboboring ha, panoorin ninyo. Tapos sabi ni Donald Trump, yun daw nakaraang administrasyon ay hindi nila alam ang ginagawa nila. Siyempre, hindi mo kayang gawin kay Pangulong Duterte, Donald Trump. Hindi po kayang gawin kay Pangulong Duterte yun. Ang ginawa niya kay Bongbong Marcos, hindi niya kayang gawin kay Pangulong Duterte. Not in a million years, Donald Trump, you cannot do that to our Rodrigo Roa Duterte, our president. You cannot do that, Donald Trump. Ito mga ka-reaction. Papanoorin po ninyo. Ginawa po niyang tanga, clown, si Bongbong Marcos. Anong ipagmamayabang niya ngayon? 19% tariff? Binawasan niya ng 1%? Tapos yung Amerika, zero tariff? Congratulations, Bongbong Marcos, napakagaling mo.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Philippines, a great family legacy, and highly respected in this country. I know that because I have many friends in the Philippines, and there's great respect, or I couldn't say it, so congratulations.
Binola na niya ng binola. Great respect, highly respected in his country, but in your country, they never respect. Kasi alam mo, Donald Trump, you know who's the Marcoses. You know what kind of people they are. And we know them.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about war and peace. They're a very important nation militarily, and we've had some great drills lately. We're back with them. I think I can say that the last administration was not getting along with them too well. They didn't get along with anybody. They didn't know. Honestly, they didn't know what they were doing.
Siyempre, sabi niya, yung nakarang administration, Hindi kami masyadong maganda ang aming ugnayan, sabi po ni Donald Trump. At hindi naman talaga nakipag-ugnayan na maganda kahit kanino kasi yung last administration hindi nila alam ang kanilang ginagawa. Paano? Si Pangulong Duterte hindi mo ba ganyan, Donald Trump? Because President Duterte is smarter than you, Donald Trump. President Rodrigo Duterte is more wiser, smarter, and very clever than you. Donald Trump, you cannot underestimate Duterte. You are just Trump. He is Duterte. That is very big difference.
But we have some fantastic military relationships with the Philippines, and that's been reinstituted. And
Tingnan po ninyo si Bongbong Marcos, ha. Gagawin niyang clown. Hindi man lang magsasalita, puro Obama ang pag-uusapan dyan. Kawawa naman naging naging dyan ka lang, pag-usapan namin si Obama. Ito po ate, ito. So, tatagalugin ko. Oy Donald, Bongbong Marcos, umuwi ka na dito. Nakakuha ka na rin ng 1% deduction. Umuwi ka na, oy.
I would say that you couldn't be happier, right, with the relationship.
Great partners.
So I just want to say it's an honor to have you. We're going to talk about trade today, and we're very close to finishing a trade deal, big trade deal actually. And we do a lot of business with you. It's a lot of income coming in for both groups. But I was surprised to see the kind of numbers. They're very big, and they're going to get bigger under what we're doing and what we're proposing. And I just want to thank you for being with us. It's a great honor. You and your representative. It's really a great honor. We have a big announcement.
Binola si Bongbong Marcos. Di ba? Sabi ni Bongbong Marcos, poging-pogi na naman ako sa zona. Poging-pogi ako. Pinuri ako ni Donald Trump. Tapos sinabi niya si Pangulong Duterte daw, hindi niya alam ang ganyang ginagawa. Paano? Hindi niyo magago-gago si Pangulong Duterte. Sabi niya kay Obama, fuck you. Sabi niya kay Obama, fuck you. Di ba? Ikaw, Donald Trump, di ba nag-behave ka nung panahon ng Pangulong Duterte? Kung hindi ka nag-behave nung panahon ng Pangulong Duterte, papakyo ka rin niya.
AstraZeneca, the big drug company, is going to spend $50 billion. Just announced $50 billion.
Nagkwento po siya yung AstraZeneca. Hindi po konektado sa Pilipinas yan. Ang ginawa po niya kay Bongbong Marcos, nakaupo siya dyan na parang tanga.
In the United States, in order to build various places all over the country, big manufacturing plants, pharmaceutical plants all over the country, so that's an honor. And he said they did that because of...
Wait lang po mga kareaksyon, ha. Titignan ninyo kung anong gagawin ni Bongbong Marcos. Wala. Nakaupo siya dyan. Wala lang. Wala. Ginawa niyang tanga. Panoorin nyo. Kala nyo na nagsisinungaling ako. Panoorin nyo.
The election and because of the fact that the tariffs are placed. So they're...
Teka lang, habang nagsasalita siya, total hindi naman kikibusi Bongbong Marcos dyan. Matulog muna ako. Matulog ako.
Their facilities in New York, $50 billion. That's a big investment.
Tulog muna ako.
And it's going to be a very good investment. I have no doubt about it. So thank you to AstraZeneca. And with that, I'd like to have you say a few words, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Of course, we're all very happy to be here.
Finally, nagsalita po siya, ha? Nagsalita. Sige, nagsalita siya. Pakinggan nyo, ha? Tingnan natin kung ano sasabihin ni Bongbong Marcos.
To once again reaffirm the very strong ties between the Philippines and the United States, ties that go back over 100 years. And
100 years na tayong ututo sa Amerika, Bongbong Marcos, hindi mo alam? Pag hindi mo alam, bobo ka.
considering the context in which we live these days, especially in my part of the world, this has evolved into as important a relationship as is possible to have. We must remember that the United States is our only treaty partner in the Philippines, and that has stood us in good stead over the years, certainly through the Second World War, and the cultural memory of all Filipinos, down to even the school children, is that our strongest, closest, most reliable ally has always been the United States. That is something that we value, that we are grateful for, and that we will continue to foster as we go on. With the leadership of President Trump, I am very confident that we will be able to achieve that. I think it is worthwhile to remember that it was President Trump who, in his first term, characterized the relationship between the Philippines and the United States as ironclad. And that has been necessarily the case since that time.
Oh, yun po yung persa, ano niyan, hindi nakaporma kay Duterte yan. Oo, sinamba niya si Duterte. Oy, Donald Trump, I remember that you worship Duterte. You worship Duterte, ha? Last time you came here, you worship Duterte, like God.
You made that statement, sir, and it is something that the Philippines will always hold close to its heart. Thank you once again, and we are honored, and it is our great pleasure to be here and to visit with the President of the
Thank you
United
very
States.
much.
Thank you, sir.
It's my great honor. Any questions?
Mr. President,
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, do you think that Fed Chair Jerome Powell should resign?
I think he's doing a bad job, but he's going to be out pretty soon anyway. In eight months, he'll be out.
Nagsalita na si Bongbong Marcos, ano? Pakinggan natin kung magsasalita pa ulit, ha?
But I call him too late. He's too late all the time. He should have lowered interest rates many times. Europe lowered their rate 10 times. We lowered ours none. And it's causing a problem for people that want to buy a home. Look, our economy is so strong now, we're blowing through everything. We're setting records. You know that, you see that. And whether it's the Philippines or anyone else, we're setting records at levels that nobody's ever seen before. But you know what? People aren't able to buy a house because this guy is a numbskull. He keeps the rates too high and probably doing it for political reasons. The only time I remember him cutting rates, I mean, he cut the rates just before the election to try and help Kamala or whoever he was trying to help. He probably didn't know. And he's building a building. He's $2.7 billion. They have a $900 million overrun. What is that? And that was given by Biden. That was another Biden deal. And this guy's building this building that's severely overrun. And what does he need the building for? Why does he need space for more people? So they did a big study the other day, and they called all of the great intellects and the great economists and all of the great everything. It was 71, and only 2 got it right. Me and another gentleman that happens to be very smart. 69 people got it wrong, and the Fed got it wrong, more wrong than anybody. And you know, he has these think tanks, and they build buildings for people that think. And it's really not thinking; it's a little bit of combination of thinking, but it's something you sort of have or you don't have. They don't. The job he's done is just terrible. He ought to raise interest rates. You know, we should be at 1%. We should be leading the world. Instead, we're paying 4%. And if you look at what that means, that's over $1 trillion in interest that we have to pay. That with the striking of a pen, we would be saving more than $1 trillion. Is that right, Scott?
Yes,
Do you have
sir.
anything to say about it?
Yes, sir. I called yesterday and this morning for the Fed.
Mantagin mo, katabi mo si Marcos Jr. Hindi man lang siya kinakausap, hindi katulad ng Pangulong Duterte noon, talagang focus na focus sa kay Pangulong Duterte. Ngayon ang pinag-uusapan po nila yung issue nila sa Amerika. Oo, parang wala lang si Marcos Jr. sa tabi niya. Ginawa niya gago talaga yung presidente. Ba't ginawa mong gago yung presidente namin? Hindi naman siya gago.
To do a big internal investigation to understand not their monetary policy, but everything else. The Fed has had big mission creep, and that's
Pinag-uusapan po nila dyan yung federal rate. Wala sila, hindi niya kinakausap si Bongbong Marcos. Ginawa niya talaga tarantado si Bongbong Marcos, oy. Ba't tinarantado mo yung presidente ko? Wala kang karapatan tarantaduin mo yan. Wala na nga ginagawa sa Pilipinas, ginaganyan mo pa.
where a lot of the spending's going. That's why they're building these new or refurbishing these buildings. And I think they got to stay in their lane. And I think that based on the way they cut rates last fall, they should be cutting rates now.
It's inconceivable. I know the Fed very well that they can be spending $2.7 billion to build a building. They don't do anything. It's the greatest job. You show up one day, a half a day, you make a little speech, the economy's doing well, the economy's not doing well, we're going to raise interest. And he's got it wrong. That's why I call him too late. T-O-O, too late. And it's really too bad. But it is affecting people that want to buy houses, and that shouldn't happen.
And Mr. President,
And you know, he should lower them. those rates should be 3 points lower. That's what they should be, 3 points lower, maybe more than that.
I would like to ask both of you
Yes.
one question. Mr. President Marcos, next year, Philippines is going to be the rotating chair of ASEAN. I wonder how do you plan to balance your relationship between the United States and China? And for President Trump, Kremlin yesterday said if you are going to Beijing in September, they wouldn't rule out a meeting between you and President Putin. Is such a meeting possible? And how soon do you plan to visit China?
Well, we have a lot of meetings.
Pinag-uusapan ni China dyan, pupuri ni Donald Trump, papasyalan daw niya si Xi Jinping. Ngayon, si Marcos Jr. hindi pa rin nagsasalita yun, nakatanga.
Possible. President Xi
O yan, nakatanga pa rin, no? Kawawa naman yung presidente natin. Oy, Donald Trump, pauwiin mo na yan, kawawa naman.
invited me to China, and we'll probably be doing that in the not too distant future, a little bit out, but not too distant. And I've been invited by a lot of people, and we'll make those decisions pretty soon. Please.
Well, as you say, we are chairing ASEAN for 2026. There is no need, in a sense, to balance, as you characterize as, to balance our relationship between the United States and China, simply because our foreign policy is an independent one.
Sinabi po niya sa harapan ni Donald Trump, our foreign policy is an independent one. Wala kang alam mo, Marcos, hindi ka marunong magpag-negotiate, top negotiator ka daw. Tingnan mo, nakatingin sa kayo si Donald Trump. Anong pinagsasabi mong independence? Di ba sinasakop pa namin kayo dun sa EDCA? Paano ka independence yan? Pag umalis kami, wala ka. Eh, kahit po nandiyan kami, wala ka pa rin.
And we are essentially concerned with the defense of our territory and the exercise of our human rights. Now, whether we do this not alone, we need to do this with our partners.
Masyado niyang binibigyan. With our partners, we need to do this with our partners. To protect the Philippines, we need the United States of America.
And again, our strongest partner has always been the United States. But of course, we are trying to form coalitions and multilateral relations so that we, those like-minded nations who share the same values as we do, who hew to international law, most specifically the UNCLOS, present that position very clearly to anyone who has intentions of unilaterally changing.
Alam po ninyo, ang tingin ni Donald Trump kay Bongbong Marcos, kinder. Ang tingin niya, chupi. Hindi niya kayang gawin kay Duterte yan. Kay Duterte, kinakabahan yan eh. Kinakabahan si Donald Trump kay Duterte. Hindi pumunta ng White House si Duterte.
The world order, and that is how we are guided.
And I don't mind if he gets along with China, because we're getting along with China very well.
Oh, di ba? Sabi niya, walang problema sa akin kung nag-get along sa si China. Kasi we're getting along with China anyway. Di ba? Pero, sinusugsugan nila tayo na awayin natin ng China. Mamaya-maya magiging Ukraine tayo. Iiwanan tayo sa kalagitnaan ng gera yan ng mga yan.
We have a very good relationship. In fact, the magnets, which is a little complex piece of material, but the magnets are coming out, very well. They're sending them in record numbers. We're getting along with China very well, and I don't mind if the president dealt with China. If that's meant, because I think he has to do what's right for his country. I've always said, make the Philippines great again. Do whatever you need to do, but you're dealing with China wouldn't bother me at all.
Pero sinabi niya kanina, naglilin nila sa China eh. Naglilin na ang Pilipinas sa China. Dahil kay Duterte ngayon, na-recover natin ang Pilipinas. Wala na si Duterte, na-recover natin.
Well, now it is something that we have to do in any case.
Yeah.
And certainly,
Mr. President, do you support the Justice Department seeking a new interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, and did you urge the Attorney General to seek one?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet?
Yung press conference po na nangyari dyan, mga kareaksyon, kay Donald Trump lang. Walang negotiation na nangyari. Meron ba negotiation sa 20%? Binigyan kanya ng 1% discount. Ginawa niyang 19% tapos siya 0%. 19% magbabayad tayo ng taripa sa kanila. Ang Amerika 0%. E di maganda, talagang top negotiator ka, Bongbong Marcos. Ginago ka lang ni Trump.
Your Deputy Attorney General is reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about
She
it,
has
but
that.
I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do. Yeah.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, who's your former attorney, would be conducting the interview, given your past relationship?
He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught.
Ngayon pag-uusapan na niya si Obama na. Si Bongbong Marcos wala, ano lang siya, chupi-chupi lang siya dyan. Hindi niya nire-respeto si Bongbong Marcos. Hindi niya nire-respeto. Kay Pangulong Duterte, hindi po pwede yan. Hindi kailangan pag-usapan natin itong patungkol sa Pilipinas. Sumagot na siya na sumagot, walang connection sa Pilipinas eh.
There should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president.
Mantagin mo, katabi mo si Bongbong Marcos, pinag-uusapan si Hillary Clinton. Anong connection niya sa Pilipinas? Pinag-uusapan si Obama, wala, binabastos po niya si Bongbong Marcos. O ito ito.
I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that, Mr. President? Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it.
Katabi po niya si Bongbong Marcos. Ang pinag-uusapan si Hillary Clinton tsaka si Obama, binastos po mga kareaksyon. Binastos po ng todo-todo ni Donald Trump. Diba kasi kinulong niya si Duterte. Kinulong mo, kunyari lang yung sinabi niya sa'yo, naniwala ka naman kay Donald Trump. Kunyari lang na magaling ka, respected ka sa Pilipinas, ganiron. Tapos si Duterte, hindi niya alam ang kanyang ginagawa. Siyempre, alam nga naman, ikaw ang presidente ngayon, alam nga naman pupuri niya si Duterte. Pero sa totoo lang, Bongbong Marcos, takot na takot kay Duterte yan, si Donald Trump. Takot na takot yan. Palalayasin niya lahat ng Amerikano dito.
Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up that came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama.
Mga kareasoy, Donald Trump, katabi mo si Bongbong Marcos, oh. Ba't pinag-uusapan niyo si Obama? Walang yaka naman eh. Ginagago mo yung presidente ko, nagagaling na ako niyan eh. Oy, umuwi ka na dito, Bongbong Marcos. Tinatarantado ka ni Donald Trump.
You heard of him. And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press his entire life, that's the one they... Look, he's guilty. It's not a question.
Wala pa rin, hindi pa rin niya kinausap si Bongbong Marcos. O baka naiina sa salawal si Bongbong Marcos. O tuloy natin, kawawa naman si Bongbong Marcos.
You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason.
Sabi siguro ni Donald Trump, ay, kaya mo yan, wala namang utak yan, kaya mo siya.
This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. The one thing they weren't able to do was to, and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, and admitted fraud. She paid $12 million and the Democrats for that report to a wise guy named Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing. Because the election had ended.
Ano ba talaga, Donald Trump? Kanina pa kami nagkitay. Hindi pa rin nagsasalita si Bongbong Marcos. Teka lang mga kareaksyon, huwag kayong alis. Baka magsasalita na si Bongbong Marcos.
If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit, we can't put this in. And neither could any other paper. Wall Street Journal's a lousy paper, very, very dishonest paper. As you see, I'm suing them for a lot of money because they do things very badly. It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper. And it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I called it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish it. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election. And frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was a big thing. No. We caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama.
Malaya ka, Donald Trump. Binastos mo si Bongbong Marcos ng ganyan, ba't ginanon mo yung presidente ko? Bakit mo ginago yung presidente ko? Hindi naman gago yan eh, ba't ginago mo? Ba't kinuwento mo ng kinuwento si Obama at saka si Hillary Clinton? Oy Donald Trump, maano ka naman, makonsensya ka naman. Nandiyan si Bongbong Marcos sa tabi mo, hindi mo kinakausap. Kawawa naman yung presidente ko. Nasasaktan ako para kay Bongbong Marcos, presidente ko yan eh. Oh.
They're the ones, and then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice, they're all there. The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way.
Ay, sinadya po nila yan kasi paano niya kakausapin si Bongbong Marcos, di ba? Paano sila mag-uusap? Kinakaba si si Donald Trump to. Asan yung pulburon?
And it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So, you ought to take a look at that and stop talking about nonsense, because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race. And the 2020 race was rigged, and it was a rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country. We had inflation. We solved the inflation problem. But millions and millions of people came into our country because of that. And people that shouldn't have been, people from gangs and from jails and from mental institutions, people that we don't want in our country, people that we're getting out, dangerous people. 11,888 murderers, many of them 50%, more than 50%, murdered more than one person. I hate to say this with such a distinguished guest, but you know, they asked me a question. I got to answer the question. No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him. And
I'm Sarah, one of the survivors after
Oh, nag-commercial na, wala pa rin. Nag-commercial na.
the Zerg consumed Earth, and now I'm a senior pilot in the human.
and they tried to rig it
Oy, Bongbong Marcos, umalis ka na dyan. Hindi ka mapinapasin ni Donald Trump, oh. Kawawa ka naman.
election, and they got caught. And then they did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won the popular vote. But I won that all the same way in 2020. And look at the damage that was caused.
How crucial is the ammunition hub that the U.S. plans to build
Finally, kinausapan, nagtanong po sila doon sa ammunition hub na itatayo sa Bataan yata, Sambales. So, pagpagyan natin.
in Subic and the Luzon corridor, considering that these will be built in areas that hosts strategic ports as well as military air bases?
You're talking ammunition?
Yes, the U.S. House Congressional Committee on Appropriations approved a budget.
What's very important. Otherwise,
Sorry?
we wouldn't have approved it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We need ammunition. We're going to end up in a few months, we'll have more ammunition than any country has ever had. We're going to have more missiles than any country has ever had. We're going to have all the speedy missiles. We'll have the speedy ones, the slow ones, the accurate ones, the ones that are slightly less accurate. We have everything. But we will have more ammunition than any country has ever had. It's very important to me.
And how
Go ahead, please, Red.
Sir, when you say that you're close to making a trade deal, what gaps remain? And for President Marcos, sir, I was just wondering, do you not think that perhaps the Philippines hosting U.S. missile systems could be considered escalatory by China, especially because they can strike deep into mainland China? Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be with this gentleman. You know, I've known him, and I've known his family, actually, but I've known him. And I assume you're from the Philippines? Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
It's good. You're very lucky to be from the Philippines. It's a great place. But we're going to have a very good relationship. I mean, I know you had some problems with another president, and it was not your fault. It was the president's fault. And the country was maybe tilting toward China.
Ito na, tilting toward China. O, ito na. Pag-igapo ninyo, tilting toward China. Teka lang. Oh, nabalik ko. Sandali lang yan, oh.
We're going to have all the speedy missiles. We'll have the speedy ones, the slow
Oh, ibabanggit niyo yung China.
ones, the accurate ones, the ones that are slightly less accurate. We have everything. But we will have more ammunition than any country has ever had. It's very important to me.
And how
Go ahead, please, Red.
Sir, when you say that you're close to making a trade deal, what gaps remain? And for President Marcos, sir, I was just wondering, do you not think that perhaps the Philippines hosting U.S. missile systems could be considered escalatory by China, especially because they can strike deep into mainland China? Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be with this gentleman. You know, I've known him, and I've known his family, actually, but I've known him. And I assume you're from the Philippines? Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
It's good. You're very lucky to be from the Philippines. It's a great place. But we're going to have a very good relationship. I mean, I know you had some problems with another president, and it was not your fault. It was the president's fault. And the country was maybe tilting toward China. but we untilted it very, very quickly.
Oh, untilted daw. Umaano daw ang Pilipinas, pumupunta ng China, toward China. Oo, nang nawala na si Duterte, bumalik na siya sa Amerika. Oh, nahinto na
But you know, you had a country that was
By the way, pro-Philippines po ako, ha? Hindi ako pro-China, hindi rin ako pro-America. Tanungin niyo si Bongbong Marcos, mga pro-America.
tilting toward China for a period of time, and I just don't think that would have been good for you. You can deal with China, you should deal with China, but when I got elected, everything changed, and they came right back to us.
Could you consider extending
Say it again. Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Oh, Mr. President, I just wanted to piggyback off the
Sorry, I have a
housing.
question to President Marcos.
I'll let you
Yes,
answer for
yes.
us.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
It was about whether having U.S. missiles hosted in the Philippines could be considered escalatory by China.
All of the what we consider part of the modernization of the Philippine military is really as a response to the circumstances that surround the situation around the South China Sea and now what we used to refer to as Asia Pacific, which we have expanded now to the Indo-Pacific. And if we would certainly, like in any kind of military spending, we would wish that it wasn't necessary, but it is. And so that is what we are doing. And as an adjunct to the question about the ammunition production, this is actually the United States is assisting the Philippines in what we call our self-reliance defense
Ayusin mo, ha?
program, which is to allow us to be self-reliant and to be able to stand our own 2 feet, whatever the circumstances that occur in the future. And that the reason that we have encouraged more interaction with the United States is because it is necessary. And it is not just with the United States. It is with all our neighboring countries and even countries as far afield as the Scandinavian countries, the EU. And so this is an ongoing process. And again, I will stress the point that we do this because we feel it is necessary.
And don't forget,
Walang iya ka, Bongbong Marcos, pumunta ka dyan, yan ang dala-dala mo.
don't forget, just as tantamount to what you're asking, the Philippines were loaded up with ISIS and a lot of terrorists, and
Yan na yung mga kareaksyon. Panoorin po ninyo yung buong pag-uusap nila. Hindi sila nag-usap. Hindi, nagmonolog si Trump. Binanatan si Obama at saka si Hillary Clinton. Pero itong si Bongbong Marcos sa tabi lang, sa tabi. Tapos tinanong kunyari, China na naman, ano ko? Tapos tinanong na naman yung ammunition hub, ano ko? Oy, umuwi ka naman, Marcos. Lubog na dito. Oh, okay, anyway. Shukran. God bless you all. Duterte. 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 Oy, Bongbong Marcos, umuwi ka na.